that soda bottle you threw away yesterday could grow your next herb garden. Not in a dream, not in a fantasy, but in your backyard. Today. Hey there, welcome to Mind Over Decoration. This video dives into real-life magic, showing you how to turn simple plastic waste into 15+ enchanting hydroponic bottle gardens you'll actually use and love. From fairy homes to spinning planter wheels, there's something for every space and every soul. Stopwatch, we've added timestamps, so feel free to skip to the ideas that speak to you. Speech balloon, got a question or thought? Drop it in the comments, we'd love to hear from you. And if something here inspires you, please use what you already have. Create freely. Adapt it. This is your space to imagine, to make it real. Maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this video is a real story, and a real family. Every view, every like, every subscribe, it truly matters. When you hit that button, you're not just helping a creator grow. You're helping a dream stay alive. You're giving hope, one click at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing me. In a quiet backyard, where laughter once echoed and the fence had long since faded to green, something new begins to bloom, not from soil, but from the discarded and overlooked. One by one, old plastic bottles find a second life. They are washed, cut, painted, each with a different smile, a wink, a tongue sticking out in playful defiance. Their faces, though frozen in paint, seem to speak, "We're still here. And we're growing." Mounted neatly on wooden planks, these animated planters hang upside down with roots dangling free, sipping from air and water in their hydroponic homes. Some bottles stretch proudly above others, their mint leaves wild and unruly, their lettuce lush and crinkled. The roots reach downward like golden threads spun by invisible hands. Every detail feels alive, the uneven paint strokes, the chipped bottle caps, the bits of twine holding them steady. It's not perfect, but that's what makes it real. It's a garden made not from perfection, but from participation, from joy, from reuse, from trying. And though they look like decorations, these bottle faces serve a higher purpose. They save space. They grow food. They teach children where lettuce comes from. They remind adults that not everything beautiful has to be bought. You only need an empty bottle, a splash of paint, and a willingness to believe that whimsy still belongs in this world. So if you're standing at your own fence, wondering what to do with the pile of recyclables, maybe the answer isn't in the bin. Maybe it's on the wall, hanging upside down, smiling back. Because in gardens like these, even trash can laugh, and even laughter can feed a family. Sometimes, the most beautiful stories are the quietest ones, whispered from windowsills, grown gently from bottles that once held something fleeting. Here, old plastic bottles have been transformed not just into planters, but into homes, miniature dwellings for herbs and dreams alike. Each one carries a touch of wonder, round windows etched in paint, tiny wooden doors shaped with care, rooftops that mimic shingles drawn in soft scallops or covered with pressed paper tiles. Some have vines curling along their curves, others wear pastel coats that seem to glow beneath morning light. They stand along sunlit ledges, garden benches, and wooden tables like a tiny village at rest. From their tops, basil, mint, thyme, all sprout upwards like enchanted trees. Their roots sip quietly from water tucked inside, no soil needed, no secrets hidden. You can see the growth, feel the life with every leaf that stretches just a bit more toward the light. This isn't just crafting. It's remembering that playfulness has a place in sustainability. That reuse can be rooted in beauty. And that gardening doesn't have to begin with rows of beds or big budgets. It can begin with one bottle, one brush, one sprig of green. To make these fairy homes, you only need time, a steady hand, and the willingness to imagine. Cut the bottle clean. Paint slowly. Add a window or two. And as you plant your basil or scallions inside, you're not just creating a garden, you're building a neighborhood for hope to grow. So if your windowsill is feeling a little empty, let a village rise. Let each bottle become a home. And let your herbs bloom where joy and reuse meet. They don't hum, but they heal. They don't sting, but they grow. And on this little corner of the garden, they hover gently, rows of bottle bees with bright smiles and leafy crowns. Made from what once held soda or water, these DIY bees are crafted with care and whimsy. Yellow and black stripes curve around their round bellies, while clear plastic wings shimmer in the light like pressed glass. Some are suspended midair, dancing softly from tree branches, while others rest in neat patterns across bamboo fences and weathered wooden walls, as if building a hive of herbs, not honey. From their backs, life erupts, fresh mint, parsley, vibrant lettuce. Each plant pushes upward like the beat of a wing, nurtured by nothing more than light, love, and water. These bees don't buzz, they bloom. And every sprout they carry is a reminder that joy can take root in the simplest, humblest places. Creating them is remarkably simple. You'll need empty bottles, some yellow and black paint, a little imagination, and something to hang them with, string, wire, even old clothesline. For the wings, try old packaging plastic or laminated paper scraps. The antennae? Twisted wire or spiraled paper clips will do. Every piece reused, every part with purpose. What's magical isn't just the result, it's the transformation. Trash becomes a teacher. A bottle becomes a pollinator. And your garden becomes a space not just for plants, but for play. So let your backyard buzz. Let it sway with smiling bees that carry herbs instead of honey. Let your children laugh at their silly eyes. And let your neighbors pause, and wonder how something so small, so cheerful, could have come from something thrown away. Because in this hive of color and care, everything grows from kindness. Even wings. In a quiet corner of the backyard, where the morning sun slips gently through the leaves, a fence becomes a gallery of joy. Lined up in neat rows, clear plastic bottles, once discarded, now redeemed, grin back at you with wide-eyed mischief. Each one wears a different face, a wink here, a cheeky tongue-out grin there, or a serious stare softened by sprouts of rosemary or mint springing like wild hair. It's impossible not to smile back. These bottles are not just decoration, they are hydroponic homes. Inside, roots dangle freely in water, absorbing life. No soil, no mess, just recycled charm and nature's cleverness. The clear walls reveal the secret life inside, tiny bubbles rising, threads of roots weaving like underwater lace, and green growth reaching always toward the light. Even their flaws, the brushstroke smudges, uneven expressions, or weather-worn caps, add to the charm, like quirky neighbors in a tiny leafy village. Elsewhere along the fence, an even grander scene unfolds. A curved backdrop of distressed blue wood is adorned with a whole chorus of bottle faces. Twine cradles each one, and from their undersides trail thick curtains of pothos and creeping vines. The plants sway like leafy beards in the breeze, and their shadow play on the wood mimics the dance of puppets at dusk. Some planters wear clown-like smiles, others more solemn faces, each bottle painted with care, perhaps by a child's hand or a quiet afternoon's whimsy. And tucked along the brick wall, 5 little characters gather like siblings. Their round white faces, painted simply, lovingly, hold lettuce and greens with the same pride as flower girls holding bouquets. One looks drowsy, another gleeful. Water glistens on their leaves, catching the early light like tiny garden jewels. If you're searching for a garden idea that's equal parts useful, magical, and kind to the earth, start here. You don't need a big yard. You don't need perfection. Just a few bottles, a bit of paint, and a playful heart. Your fence could become a stage, your wall a smile, and your garden, an enchanted village where trash sings back to life. Somewhere in a quiet backyard, beneath a linen-colored sky and beside a patch of wildflowers in bloom, laughter seems to hang in the air, not from voices, but from bottles. Yes, bottles. Old glass and plastic bottles, once discarded and forgotten, now dangle playfully from a clothesline stretched between 2 wooden posts. Each one bears a painted face, joyful, goofy, sleepy, mischievous, their wide eyes and bright grins brought to life by a few strokes of acrylic and imagination. From the tops of their heads, sprigs of mint, oregano, and chives burst upward like untamed hair, bouncing gently in the breeze. Their shadows dance softly across the grass as sunlight filters through herb leaves and green-tinted glass. This is not just decoration, it's a living, breathing hydroponic microgarden crafted from what others might call trash. Each bottle is suspended with twine or clothes pegs, allowing air to flow freely and water to drain naturally. The concept is deceptively simple: cut, paint, string, fill, and grow. But the result is nothing short of enchanting. The faces are not just fun, they're conversation starters. They make kids smile. They remind adults that joy doesn't have to be expensive. One bottle wears sunglasses, basking in the sunlight like it knows it's cool. Another sticks its tongue out, herbs spilling through the spout like wild green hair. A third looks slightly cross-eyed, as if surprised by the mint sprouting from its scalp. Behind them, an old bench, watering cans, and a few backyard tools lie in quiet harmony, all part of a garden that didn't cost much, yet feels alive with personality. It's proof that a clothesline can grow herbs, that broken bottles can bring beauty, and that creativity has a place in even the humblest of yards. Try this at home with your own twist, because your garden doesn't need to be big, just full of heart. There's a kind of quiet delight that emerges when the ordinary is transformed into something magical. And in one little backyard, that transformation begins with a line of old plastic bottles, painted, grinning, and bursting with green life. Here, the garden doesn't just grow food, it tells a story. Along the wooden planks of a sunny garden path, a cheerful caterpillar winds its way into the heart of the soil. Each segment of its chubby green body is crafted from reused plastic bottles, lovingly painted with white dots that dance across the curves like freckles in the sun. The head of the caterpillar, a wide-eyed sentinel with curly wire antennae, watches over the herbs sprouting from each bottle top, mint, basil, and maybe even wild thyme. With every leaf that rustles in the breeze, it feels like the caterpillar is giggling. Elsewhere, a trail of softly colored bottle planters, green, ochre, dusty rose, nestles neatly into the soil. Each bottle has been halved and shaped like stubby little legs, and at the front, a smiling face beams with big cartoon eyes. The bottles may be faded and imperfect, but that's what makes them feel real. A brushstroke here, a chip of color there, all reminders that this was made not with money, but with heart and hands. And in one bright corner framed by a tiny picket fence, another caterpillar stretches its legs made of rope and wooden beads. Its plump body supports tufts of curly parsley and butter lettuce, each one rising eagerly toward the sky. The soil is rich, the sun is soft, and scattered pebbles catch the morning light like tiny moons. These caterpillars aren't just garden art. They are living proof that imagination can feed a family, that laughter can live in the soil, and that even the most overlooked trash can become a garden's brightest guest. All it takes is a few bottles, a splash of paint, and a willingness to see magic where others see waste. In a quiet corner of the backyard, where the grass hums softly beneath your feet and the breeze smells faintly of basil and paint, the most unexpected creatures have taken flight, not through the air, but through imagination. Plastic bottles, once cast aside, have become vibrant bird planters, each one perched on a stump or a slender garden stake like a story waiting to be told. The red bird has a confident tilt to its beak, wings spread like a flame against the sky. From its back, mint leaves unfurl, brushing against the morning light. Just beside it, a blue bottlebird rests, its yellow wings wide and cheerful, cradling oregano that dances with every breeze. And then the green one, with its curved orange beak and watchful eyes, offers a crown of herbs that grows as though nourished by laughter. Some of these feathered friends stand tall on bamboo stakes amidst sunflowers and wild grass. Others are nestled on rustic wooden slices, turning a simple raised bed into a stage of whimsy and color. Their wings are cut from scrap paper or old plastic, their feathers painted in strokes of joy, each one unique, yet part of the same choir. These garden birds don't chirp, but they speak, to children crouching beside them, to passers-by who smile without realizing it, to the gardener who quietly needed a reason to believe that even the smallest act of creation can sing. You don't need much to begin. Just a clean bottle, a little soil, a brush dipped in wonder, and the courage to see more than trash. Because here, in the enchanted garden of your own making, magic isn't something you find. It's something you grow. And these birds? They'll keep singing for you. still hush of twilight, a quiet magic settles into the garden. One by one, the soft glow of tiny domes begins to emerge from the shadows, not from above, but from the soil. These aren't alien ships, though at first glance, they might be mistaken for a fleet of miniature UFOs making first contact. In truth, there's something far more earthly and poetic: recycled plastic bottles transformed into hydroponic planters, glowing softly with pastel light as they cradle new green life in the palms of their upcycled forms. The idea is both playful and practical, a nod to science fiction and sustainability in the same breath. Look closely and you'll see how each ship is born from the base of a plastic bottle, fitted with a translucent dome, perhaps from an old food container lid or discarded packaging, and punctuated with LED string lights inside. The edges have been lovingly adorned with spray-painted dots, lending them a metallic alien charm. What grows inside isn't fantasy, though. It's food: pak choi, basil, and microgreens, their tender leaves reaching skyward from the ship's top hatch as though invited by the stars. This project isn't just for fun, it's a gentle protest against waste. Each planter is a promise that beauty and function don't need to be bought, they can be imagined, made, and tended with what's already in our recycling bin. The bottles are lightweight, water-retentive, and perfect for passive hydroponic growing. Add a cotton wick and a reservoir underneath, and your spaceship becomes a self-watering micro-garden. On a wooden garden shelf, under the hum of distant crickets and the occasional blink of a firefly, these glowing planters feel alive. More than decor, they are guardians of green, tiny ecosystems powered by the sun by day, lit from within by night. There's something deeply calming about their presence: the soft light, the steady growth, the quiet hum of possibility. You don't need a spaceship to leave the world behind. Sometimes, all it takes is a bottle, a bulb, and a bit of imagination to bring wonder right to your doorstep. In a quiet corner of the kitchen, just where the morning sun leans through the glass and warms the counter, an unlikely kind of magic is at work. Rows of recycled plastic bottles, once destined for the bin, now stand like tiny crystal towers, each crowned with a brightly colored cap. But it's what lies beneath those caps that catches your eye. In the clear stillness of water, fragile roots dangle like golden threads of silk, gently weaving their way downward with grace only nature can teach. They reach and curl, suspended like jellyfish in their transparent ocean. From above, delicate green shoots have begun to stretch toward the light. A single basil leaf sways slightly in the breeze from the window crack. Another bottle holds a mint sprig, its stem arched like a question mark, curious about the world it's entering. Alongside, the spinach twins, tiny, determined, anchor their stems with roots so precise, they look like they were painted in by hand. Each bottle is quietly labeled with black marker, handwritten in a style that says, "This garden is loved." Nearby, a child's gardening log sits open. There are doodles of plants, measurements of water levels, and proud declarations like, "Day 4, sprout." The soft towel and plastic spoon beside it show that this isn't just a project, it's a ritual. A few drops still cling to the inside of the bottles, evidence of yesterday's care. No filters. No fancy tech. Just curiosity, water, and time. And that's the true charm, a system so simple, anyone can try it. No need for a backyard or a greenhouse. These bottle cap gardens ask only for light, love, and the willingness to believe that even trash can bloom into something quietly beautiful. Welcome to the kind of garden you can build with your own two hands, and perhaps a little wonder. There's something tender and oddly joyful about giving old bottles a second life, as if you're not just upcycling plastic, but inviting little stories to bloom where waste once lingered. In the warmth of a tiny backyard, where sun pours onto cracked pavers and dry leaves shuffle in the breeze, a bamboo rack quietly holds an army of panda-faced bottles. Each one is a recycled vessel, lovingly hand-painted with wide cartoon eyes, blushing cheeks, and rounded ears that seem to tilt with gentle curiosity. From their open tops, vibrant tufts of lettuce and bok choy burst forth, like fluffy green hair on vigilant little garden guardians. They do not just decorate the space, they protect it, nourish it, and bring smiles even before the salad is picked. Just beyond, along a weathered garden bench, more panda planters peer out playfully, their black and white faces drawn with sleepy eyes, surprised giggles, or soft smiles. These bottles, once destined for the trash, now cradle mint and coriander, herbs that shimmer in morning dew and flutter with every soft gust of wind. The wooden shelf is upcycled too, made from discarded fence planks, and it holds these panda pals in tidy rows as vines creep upward behind them like a green curtain framing the stage. And inside, on a bright windowsill where sunlight dances through smudged glass panes, an artist's world lingers. The pandas here take on all shapes, some tall and sleek, others stout and chubby. Paintbrushes lie beside them, still stained with black and white. There's a gentle mess of soil on the ledge, evidence of a project done not for perfection but for joy. This is not just a DIY idea, it's an invitation. To look differently at the bottle you might throw away. To imagine not just function, but magic. To plant seeds not just in soil, but in delight. So if your garden feels too small, or your space too ordinary, remember, even the humblest trash can hold a whimsical story waiting to sprout. In the soft hush of a backyard afternoon, where pebbles meet grass and laughter lingers in chalk drawings, a little parade of green faces lines the garden path. Each one is a plastic bottle once destined for the bin, now reborn with a smile, winking eyes, and sprigs of mint and spinach bursting like hair from their cheerful tops. Their expressions vary. A wide-open grin, a sleepy squint, a silly tongue sticking out as if caught mid-giggle. They don't just hold plants, they hold joy. These frog-themed bottle planters are more than decoration. They're tiny characters, standing proudly along the edge of the sandbox or beside a stepping stone path, watching as little feet hop by and watering cans tip with care. Their googly eyes wobble with every breeze, their painted smiles chipped in places from hands too eager and curious, and that's the magic of it. The imperfections become memories. To make your own frog bottle friends, start with any clean plastic bottle, soda, water, or even a shampoo bottle. Paint them bright green, add expressions with black and white paint or stickers, and don't forget those wild eyes. Cut paper or plastic shapes for feet and attach them with waterproof glue. Once dry, fill the tops with soil and tuck in easy herbs like mint, spinach, or basil. These quick growers are perfect for little hands to tend and snip, turning every watering moment into a tiny harvest. This DIY project thrives best in spots that welcome whimsy, the edge of a patio, beside a child's play area, or nestled among flowers for a surprise smile. What begins as trash becomes a garden of enchantment, one frog at a time. There's something undeniably tender about the quiet corners of a garden, the places where sunlight slips through leaves and butterflies drift as if by memory. In one such nook, something extraordinary has taken root, not just plants, but guardians. Little fairies, shaped from what was once waste, now cradle the life of herbs and leafy greens above their painted heads. Each of these planters was once a forgotten plastic bottle, the kind tossed aside after a single use. But in the hands of a dreamer, they have become something far more, hydroponic fairies, standing tall with wings made from clear acetate or repurposed shimmer wrappers. Their soft faces are painted with care, smiling eyes, a blush on their cheeks, and expressions so gentle they seem to hum lullabies to the garden. In the first cluster, 5 fairy figures stand on a weathered wooden bench. Their wings catch dappled light from a nearby vine-covered trellis. Mint and spinach grow where caps once were, turning each bottle into a crown of edible greenery. The contrast between their pastel paper dresses and the fresh green leaves swaying in the breeze creates a harmony that feels both handmade and magical. Further along the patio, another trio rests among garden blooms. Their bodies are painted in swirling patterns, turquoise, indigo, and lilac, dusted lightly with glitter. From their tops, basil and mint shoot up like soft tiaras, and the plants thrive in their makeshift hydroponic beds with just enough water tucked inside the base. A monarch butterfly flutters close, landing momentarily on one of the shimmering wings, then lifts off again, as if acknowledging the magic below. And then, nestled near the cabbages, is the final ensemble. This fairy circle is dressed in hand-cut flower skirts, some pink like zinnias, others green like lettuce hearts. Their wings are made from upcycled transparent folders, delicately trimmed. The soil beneath them is warm and crumbling. As you crouch near, you can hear the faintest trickle of water, reminding you that these aren't just decorations, they're living systems, miniature gardens that nourish herbs and hope. These DIY fairy guardian planters are more than a whimsical display. They're a symbol of what's possible when we slow down and see beauty in the broken. If you're inspired to make your own, start with a bottle, a bit of paint, and a plant that loves water. Add wings, personality, and place them where the sun dances through leaves. You don't need magic wands, just a little imagination and the belief that even trash can bloom into something lovely. Behind a weathered garden shed, where weeds once whispered and an old tire lay forgotten, a tiny miracle takes shape, not in a pot, but in a bear. Or rather, in dozens of bears, each reborn from bottles, painted with round ears and shy grins, their bellies filled not with honey, but with water and mint. Each bear is cradled by a slice of old tire, rubber now wrapped like a hammock, gently rocking the planters in place against a backyard fence. Some lean forward, eager like cubs sniffing spring. Others recline, cool and casual. All of them are growing. From their heads, lettuce leaves spill upward like wild hair, roots dangling like thin strings of light. These aren't decorations. These are declarations. Each uneven brushstroke on their faces, each knot of twine, each mismatched ear, proof that this project was made by hand, by heart, by someone who believed that beauty doesn't have to cost a thing. Just paint, an old bottle, and the courage to imagine something new from what was once tossed away. They make children stop. They make grown-ups smile. They save space, they grow food, and they tell a story louder than any billboard ever could. This fence? It's alive. So if you've got a fence, a tire, and a bottle, you've got enough to begin. The rest will follow: laughter, leaves, and maybe even lunch. Because when kindness and creativity meet in the garden, even trash can bloom into bears. Out on the edge of a cozy backyard, where ivy crawls up the fence and small wildflowers dot the soil like scattered secrets, a parade of dragons stands proudly on a weathered wooden shelf. But these aren't creatures from ancient myths, they're born from the everyday, molded from old plastic bottles and bits of forgotten packaging. In their painted skins, crimson red, forest green, royal purple, they beam with personality. Googly eyes widen with playful curiosity, paper wings flutter in the breeze, and little plastic horns add a dash of mischievous charm. From each dragon's back, herbs and lettuces rise like spines, fresh and full of life. The parsley frills like tangled manes, while crisp green lettuce unfurls like wings of its own. It's a garden with a heartbeat, one that whispers stories to anyone willing to listen. Children giggle in delight, and grown-ups can't help but smile. The magic, it turns out, doesn't cost a thing. Just a used bottle, a splash of color, and a little wonder. If you're dreaming of your own enchanted garden, start here. Cut a sturdy bottle, shape the snout and tail, and let your imagination take flight with craft paper wings. Secure it on a shelf or balcony where sunlight and breeze can reach. Fill with soil, add leafy greens or herbs, and watch your dragons grow a harvest that's both playful and practical. This isn't just upcycling. It's storytelling through soil, fantasy through foliage. And somewhere in the shade of that shelf, you might even believe, just for a moment, that magic is real, and it's sprouting from the back of a dragon you made yourself. In a quiet backyard where the marigolds bloom like bursts of laughter at the foot of a wooden planter box, something enchanting spins gently in the golden hush of late afternoon. Not a toy, not a sculpture, but a carousel of life. A hand-built Ferris wheel made of forgotten wood and humble metal, reborn with purpose, each spoke cradling a bottle once destined for a landfill, now cradling new life. From a distance, the wheel looks like it could lift dreams into the sky. Each plastic bottle, painted in joyful pastel or left clear to reveal curling roots, tilts just enough to let the young leaves inside stretch toward the sun. Lettuce, pak choi, even a rogue mint, they bob in the breeze like passengers enjoying a ride through the air. Below, marigolds sing in vibrant orange, warding off pests and warming the bed with cheer. There's no sound, save for the faint creak of the wheel's gentle rotation and the rustle of leaves stirred by the wind. Step closer and you'll find fingerprints on the crank, maybe a parent guiding small hands, showing how the bottles rotate to catch light evenly. Inside, sponge or soil holds the roots steady, and droplets cling to the inside walls like morning dew. This is no accident. It's hydroponics on a playground. Education disguised as whimsy. Sustainability wrapped in childlike wonder. Beside the wheel, scattered tools and a spool of twine hint at the story just written, a family afternoon turned into an act of hope. A child crouches nearby, fascinated by how roots form in air, how waste becomes wonder. It's a quiet revolution, one you can build with your own hands, using nothing more than a few bottles, a bit of balance, and the will to give what was tossed aside a second spin. And maybe that's the magic of it all, the way trash, when treated with care, can learn to dance with the sun. And just like that, your trash becomes a treasure, your bottles become gardens, and your hands become magic. We hope one of these 15+ ideas sparked something in you, whether it's your first planter or your next weekend project. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Tell us, which design would you try first? Or do you have your own bottle garden idea we should feature next? We read every comment, and your voice shapes what we create. See you in the next video. Until then, keep growing joyfully.